Every single morning, almost without thinking, we perform the same quiet ritual. We open our closet, look down, and choose a pair of shoes. It feels automatic, almost meaningless. But the truth is far bigger than we realize. These are not just shoes. They are statements, signals, symbols. What rests on your feet is not only rubber and fabric, it is identity. It is aspiration. Sometimes it is a message to the world about who you are and who you want to be. In 2020, a teenager in the Bronx was killed for his sneakers. In Tokyo, grown men camp on sidewalks for days just to buy shoes that will sell out in minutes. In Dubai, one collector insured his sneaker collection for $12 million. This is the story of how something meant to protect your feet became something people would kill for. How a word rooted in crime evolved into a global obsession. And why the sneakers you're wearing right now reveal more about you than almost anything else you own. The Mythic Origin, where the word sneaker came from. The word sneaker did not come from fashion or sport. It came from deception. In the late 1800s, rubber-soled shoes allowed people to walk quietly. No sound, no warning. You could sneak. Criminals loved them. The wealthy despised them. They called these shoes sneaks, a term loaded with suspicion and contempt. What most people never hear is that the rubber sole itself was born by accident. In 1839, Charles Goodyear dropped a mixture of rubber and sulfur onto a hot stove. Instead of melting, it hardened. That accident led to vulcanization, a process that made rubber durable, flexible, and resistant to weather. Goodyear believed he had improved material science. He had no idea he had created the foundation for a $100 billion industry. From crime to culture. In 1916, Keds released the first mass-marketed canvas shoe with a rubber sole. Instead of avoiding the insult, they embraced it. They called the shoe a sneaker. What once symbolized criminal behavior became casual and accessible. What once moved in silence was now impossible to ignore. 1 year later, Converse introduced the All-Star. It was not designed to look good. It was built for performance, grip, stability, and movement on the basketball court. But something unexpected happened. Function became fashion. Performance turned into personality. Chuck Taylor and the first sneaker icon. In 1923, a man named Chuck Taylor began promoting the Converse All-Star. His name was eventually printed directly on the shoe. For the first time, people could wear someone else's name and feel more like themselves. The twist is that Chuck Taylor was not a superstar athlete. He was a salesman. He traveled across America hosting clinics, teaching basketball, and selling shoes. He was so effective that Converse immortalized him. The first sneaker icon was not created by fame. It was created by persuasion. By 1960, nearly every American basketball player wore Chuck Taylors. Not because they were objectively the best shoe available, but because Chuck Taylor convinced them they were. The psychology of sneakers, identity. So why do sneakers matter so much? The answer begins with identity. Psychologists describe a concept called in-clothes cognition, the idea that what we wear directly influences how we think and behave. Sneakers take this even further. They touch the ground. They move us forward. They carry us through the world. Studies show that people wearing athletic shoes perform better physically, even when they are not athletes. Other research reveals that people form judgments about income, personality, and even political beliefs within seconds of seeing someone's shoes. Before you speak, your sneakers already have. The psychology of sneakers. Nostalgia. Sneakers also hold memory. They are emotional time capsules, the pair you wore when life felt simpler, the ones you begged your parents for, the shoes you could not afford until adulthood. These are not just products, they are moments. Brands like Nike understand this deeply. Retro releases do not sell footwear, they sell childhood. Adults do not cry because of leather and stitching. They cry because they are finally giving their younger selves what they once dreamed of owning. Nostalgia creates belonging. Wearing the same Jordans your father wore decades ago is not imitation, it is connection. The psychology of sneakers, status and rebellion. In 1985, the NBA banned a sneaker for violating uniform rules. Too much color, too much rebellion. Nike responded by paying the fines and transforming defiance into marketing gold. The irony is that the exact shoe people believe was banned never actually was. A technicality became the foundation of one of the most successful marketing myths in history. The result was staggering. Air Jordans generated $126 million in their first year alone. What was once athletic equipment became contraband, and contraband has always been desirable. Design. Sneakers as wearable art. Sneakers are more than products. They are wearable architecture. Every curve, texture, and material choice tells a story. Legendary designer Tinker Hatfield approached sneakers like buildings, exposing their inner workings and turning engineering into art. The visible air unit and the Jumpman logo were not just features, they were statements. Collectors noticed. In 2021, a prototype sneaker worn by Kanye West sold for $1.8 million. For that price, you could buy a house, but you cannot walk through life in a house. The Great Shift. From sportswear to everyday style. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, sneakers escaped the gym and the court. They entered offices, weddings, and high-fashion runways. For centuries, fashion demanded discomfort. Pain was the price of beauty. Sneakers shattered that rule. You could look good and feel good at the same time. This shift became undeniable after the death of Steve Jobs. A global icon worth billions wore New Balance sneakers and jeans. Comfort became intelligence. Casual became power. Breaking dress codes became a signal of importance rather than disrespect. The 4 pillars of sneaker culture. Sneaker culture was built on 4 pillars: sports, hip-hop, streetwear, and resale. Sports gave sneakers heroes. Michael Jordan nearly signed with Adidas, but Nike offered him something revolutionary: creative control and his own signature line. That decision built a brand now worth over $5 billion annually. Hip-hop gave sneakers authenticity. Run-DMC wore Adidas not because of contracts, but because that was the street uniform. Laceless shoes were born from hardship and transformed into symbols of pride, dignity, and respect. Streetwear introduced scarcity. Limited releases created obsession. Owning a pair meant belonging. When releases moved online, technology replaced people. Bots determined access, and sneakers became luxury assets. Resale turned sneakers into investments. Shoes outperformed stocks. Teenagers became millionaires. But something was lost. Sneakers designed to be worn ended up locked in boxes. The deeper meaning. Despite everything, sneakers accomplished something remarkable. They democratized style. They made confidence wearable. In a world filled with uncertainty, sneakers feel solid, tangible, controlled. Each pair represents a version of ourselves: the athlete, the artist, the rebel, the one who made it. So tomorrow morning, when you reach into your closet, you are not just choosing shoes. You are answering a question: who am I today? In that moment, rubber and canvas become more than footwear. They become culture, currency, belief. The cult of kicks is not about shoes. It is about us, what we value, what we chase, and what we are willing to pay to feel, even for a moment, like we can fly.